All right, welcome back. President Cyril Ramaphosa is currently visiting the UK, while the president is the first head of state to be hosted for a state visit by His Majesty King Charles III. The visit provides an opportunity for South Africa and the UK to identify new areas of collaboration in advancing economic recovery and stability, and further reaffirming the solid foundation between the two countries. Our correspondent Olly Barratt sat down with UK Minister for Africa, Andrew Mitchell.
So first of all, why South Africa? This is clearly the first state visit of the King's reign. Why was it felt that South Africa was the right invitation?
Well, South Africa is an incredibly important partner for the United Kingdom, and we are all so proud that South Africa is coming tomorrow, that your President Cyril Ramaphosa is coming to our country, and also I think deeply honoured that he's coming for the King's first state visit. And I think that expresses a tremendous warmth, community of interest, shared history that exists between our two countries, and we want to celebrate all that that means.
And in terms of the celebrations, what does that say about the relationship between Britain and South Africa, that you wanted South Africa to be first?
Well, you're an incredibly important trading partner, something like £10 billion a year. So there's very substantial commercial, economic and trading links between our two countries. Down the years, both as a politician and as a businessman and as a minister, I've been a regular visitor to South Africa. I have many friends in the country and a deep and abiding love for what I have learnt about South Africa during my lifetime. So for me, it is the fact that there is so much shared interest, so much shared history. We're working together on so many different things. We're working together, for example, on the battle against climate change. We regard South Africa as a very strong partner on all of that. And 10 years ago, when I was the development minister, I spent a lot of time in South Africa working with my opposite numbers there, trying to tackle key themes that united us, but also tried to drive forward development, which was such a good partnership and is so very much in our interests and we hope in South Africa's.
You mentioned climate, and there are those arrangements for moving South Africa away from coal and UK funding going in the other direction. Will that be on the agenda, and do we feel on both sides that the requisite progress is being made in those arrangements?
Well, I think it is true. There's a big investment announced in Egypt, something like $8.5 billion, of which Britain will be providing at least $1 billion as part of our partnership. But I think also there's a shared understanding. On our part, we understand that the North and the West can't be didactic about the use of coal and oil and gas, because we've benefited so much from it. In our time, we had our Industrial Revolution, and therefore we have to be understanding. But I think there's a tremendous opportunity economically to provide jobs and to develop clean energy. That's what both South Africa and Britain want to see, not only in their own economies, but more widely. And I think the visit is a chance to talk about all of this and to drive it forward.
Reparations, though, should that be part of the conversation?
Well, this is an incredibly difficult area. I think the key thing is that we should be really contributing in the North, from the rich world. We should be really contributing to the common objectives we hold, and helping South Africa to drive forward their climate agenda for the benefit not only of the local economy and of jobs, but for the futures of our children and grandchildren.
And what about the issue of Ukraine? Because that's an issue that the two governments have really had a bit of a different position on. Will there be any pressure exerted on the President while he's here to move in the way that South Africa deals with Russia?
Well, certainly no one will be pushing President Ramaphosa. There'll be a lively discussion, I'm sure, but it's based on the fact that we share extremely similar common values, and I don't think there's a country on earth outside parts of the old Soviet Union who think that the behaviour of President Putin is remotely defensible. This is an illegal war, and millions of men, women and children are suffering grievously from it. I think one of the points that Britain will want to make sure is understood, that we understand that because of the preoccupation with Ukraine, there has been less than there should have been in terms of action in Africa, and in particular in the Horn of Africa, where there are children who are starving to death. I'll be going there in the next week or so, and I think we will want to make clear that we really care about the difficulties created by drought and famine in Africa, and Britain wants to be in the forefront of helping those countries to overcome these terrible problems. So I think it's important to demonstrate that the attention of people in Britain is not just on what is happening in Ukraine, barbarous and disastrous though it is. We're also extremely concerned to help our many friends and allies and partner countries throughout Africa.
And the President will also address Parliament while he's here. What type of an event do you expect that to be?
I can't tell you how much we're looking forward to it. I mean, it will be one of the warmest of these occasions. They're great occasions for us parliamentarians, but it will be one of the warmest that there has been in my political career. And I think that the President of South Africa, when he walks into that great chamber in the House of Lords, he will be met by a wall of warmth and happiness and delight that he has come to our country for this state visit.